Welcome back to episode 6 of AyyScare Plays Front Office Football 8, Season 2. In case you missed last episode, we made it into the final 4 of the playoffs. So I'm pretty confident that's as far as we've gotten between our first season of this and this season. So I'm pumped about that. Before starting recording here, I was just looking at Dion Knotts. In case you don't remember, he is the quarterback that, I think it was episode 2, we were questioning whether we should stick it out with him or switch to Bart Hines. And we stuck out with Bart Hines. Dion Knotts went and played half a year for Tampa Bay and then rode their bench for basically 2 seasons. And he's now actually sitting as a free agent. So we actually might try signing him back as our backup, but we'll see how everything else pans out. Main area of concern right now is our receiving core. Everything else is looking really nice, but hopefully we don't get hit with any key injuries or retirements this year. I don't think we're going to hit any retirements. We might lose this defensive end, but we'll see here shortly. Let's do it. Yeah, roster strength, we're at 100. That is great. Before we do that, we're good. Okay. I seem to say this every single season, but I'm not planning to make any switches here, especially when we make it to as far as we did. Even if there was some potential better suitable, it's too dangerous to switch off of what we have that's working. I would say we still have basically top across the board anyway. Offensive is a little bit low, but that's fine. I'm not planning to switch any of this up based on last season. Alright. Go ahead. Set ticket pricing. Let's see. We have almost no money to work with, which means we're probably going to need to make at least a couple of cuts here. And we lost Riley Hines and Dustin West to free agency. We could franchise one of them, but our money's a little bit messed up. So let's see what we can do here. Let's look at attitudes first. We don't have any conflicts. We have a number of players that are disgruntled, but most of them are off the team anyway. Brandon Rund. I forget, am I allowed to trade right now? I am. Let's see if any team's interested in him. Pittsburgh and Houston. Alright. And this guy is 26, very good inside linebacker. Our linebacker situation is just so stacked right now. So, what teams was it again? Pittsburgh and Houston. Say Pittsburgh is the only team currently with money for him. So let's see. They're definitely not giving us a first round second. See if they'll just straight up give us their second. Probably they'll give us straight up their third, but let's try second first. Maybe we'll trade up in the second. Alright. That works for me. Then he's disgruntled, but he might end up getting more playing time this year. Did that one guy end up retiring? We actually had a number of retirements. None were the defensive end, though. Okay. This guy will probably end up getting more playing time, so I'm not going to touch him. Alright. Contract. Just getting rid of that one inside linebacker just opened up some money for us. But we're going to need some more money on top of that. This guy's on his final year. This guy's really good on our special teams too. He had 8.5 sacks last year. This has been a really good tight end. Blocking. Okay. I really don't want to lose this guy, but I do think we're overpaying him. Can I officially release this guy now? Hold up. You will save. Okay, it's letting me cut him now. Cool. As a reminder, this is the guy that went on permanent IR right after we signed him. Let me just make sure that that's this guy. Pretty confident it is. Yep, this is him. So now it's letting us release him. So let's go ahead, get rid of him now. I think that was my issue last season. I don't think I cut him before the season started. That was my problem. All right. He was one of my starting corners. He didn't do great last year, but we're probably not going to get better than him. Our defense right now is so stacked. Let's see here. That guy's a 52, 47. This is the young guy. And this is also a young guy. How much am I paying that guy? It would only save me $3 million. It's probably not worth cutting him. We're paying 2 running backs, but our running game actually did decently last year. All right. That opened up a little bit of money for us. That being said, pull up my franchise player salaries. Look back in here, because realistically, between the two that we have the option of potentially keeping, I would personally rather it be Hines, mainly to help keep our running game going, also keep our quarterback healthy. Franchising him would run me $25 million, which actually isn't bad. All right. And then we're losing Dustin West, who did not start full-time last year. I mean, he's ranked to 73, which is awesome. But again, our linebacker situation is pretty decent. So we'll take our losses. Now, we really do not have basically any money right now for free agency, but let's see what we might be able to do here. This left guard is about to cost us a ton of money too. That is the issue about signing these guys back to back like this. This would save us a little bit this year. So let's go ahead and do it. We want to keep Riley Hines around. So next year we might need to franchise Covington. Right now we just don't have the money to sign him. Whoa, we are paying this punter out the wazoo. How much are punters going for? Okay, he's the top paid punter in the league, that's why. He was first team punter a few seasons ago. Alright, well, we'll drag that out for a couple more years. He gets really good ratings, so. A corner who once again is going to run us probably a lot. Oh, actually, this is a very good deal for us. So we'll go ahead and extend him out. Look at all these guys with 2 years. These next few seasons are going to be rough, especially when Bart Hines requests more than he's currently making. That's not saving us too much. Let's see. I like this long snapper. Really good ratings. Alright. We basically have no money for free agency. This also means that we are probably going to have to... Actually, in the draft, it looks like outside of tackles, we're basically going to be free to go whatever we want. Okay. Let's just take a quick look at who hit free agency this season. Ooh, a lot of really good players hit free agency. That's the guy that got cut. Okay, I was gonna say, I feel like this guy's name is familiar. Okay. A few running backs are up. Here's a tackle, but I don't think he's gonna be worth bringing on. He'll probably request more than we're gonna be capable of paying right now. Really great looking nose tackle right there. That's our outside linebacker that we had to send to free agency. All right, well, we do what we do. Let's go ahead. I don't think we're really going to be able to do anything free agency, so let's actually just start looking at players for the draft here. Ooh, top 2 players this year are both quarterbacks. All right, now, because of that trade we did, we're currently sitting at 130 and 2-1, which means we are going to have not back-to-back directly, but close to back-to-back picks, and then quite a long wait. Now, based on what happened last season, I actually liked how in that first round, I think we were picked like 26 last season, we just went with top of the board. Like, we didn't interview the guy. We were just like, it wasn't even a position we needed. It was a linebacker. But we just went with top player that was remaining. And I'm kind of in a mix right now of how many players do I want to interview for these first 2 rounds compared to the later rounds. Because when we're this late in the first round, unless I'm going to go through every single team and do a spreadsheet of what each team needs and things like that, it's basically going to be an educated guess, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So there are a number of good corners that would probably have a chance at one of these guys, like someone like this. This guy looks a lot better than the guy ahead of him, so let's interview him. And he's considered underrated. We'll mark him. We know that we need a tackle. And we actually need a right tackle, so this guy could be a good fit. Let's see, though. And that's like tackle 5 on the board, so there is a chance that he could fall to us. Decent looking wide receiver. He's considered overrated, so we probably wouldn't go him over the other 2. But decent option on the mark as blue. We don't need a linebacker. We could potentially use somebody young on our defensive end, but I don't think any of these guys are like clearly going to come to us, and none of them have the best of bars. Man, that is a interesting defensive end there. They're very overrated, so let's mark him as blue. There are a number of quarterbacks here, and this could be our chance to nab a good backup, although we might still go with Dion Knotts. I'll see if he's available in late free agency. He's 6 foot, 195. Bars are all pretty decent for receiving, really high on big play receiving. He's an interest for me. Here's a fullback. In the first season of this, it's so confusing because I use the word seasons for both. So the first 20 episodes, we had a really good fullback. And in Front Office Football 7, I tended to like having a good fullback. This guy's considered overrated, but really nice bars. He could help us out. I mean, he's one of those kind of utility players. He probably will never have more than like 300 yards, but he'll get in some key blocks for us, give us just some additional options for our offense. So I am going to mark him. I wonder if there are any other good fullbacks available this draft. That is decent. Overrated though. So there are two fullbacks that probably they're not going to slip to where I have in the third round, so we'll be looking at using a second round pick on them, which is questionable. Let's just take a quick look here. Riley Hines can actually swap between left and right tackle. Okay. Yeah, I think tackle to me is definitely the biggest thing that we should focus on right now. Our secondary is a little bit thin in terms of safeties because we're losing this guy. Yeah, so maybe I'll look at a couple of the safeties in the draft. First two safeties will probably go before our pick. So we'll look at these two. Like those bars. Hard to read, but that is a very interesting option. Overrated. Okay. So maybe we'll look at Gary Furry in the first and second round. And then let's look at some late wide receivers. But still going to mark that guy. He's considered overrated, but his combine was really good. He's only 8% developed, so he might be an option. Clyde Carter, he's 6'3", not good at strength. What? Yeah, no. This guy's combine was really good. He could potentially be like a 5th, 6th rounder. He's only 1% developed. How good is this top guy? Oh, that's really nice. This guy's 6'1", 207. He's a bigger guy. Let's interview him. Considered underrated. Good across the board besides third down catching. Okay. Alright, I think that we have a number of options that we can really go with between these first two picks. So let's see. We have a couple of wide receivers that we might be able to go with. We have the two fullbacks. We have that safety. We have that one tackle that was down here and one corner. Yeah, I think we're going to have a number of options. We are out of interviews, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Keep it on normal here just for the first couple of picks. I would assume that those two quarterbacks will be 1 and 2. But let's see. Yep. All right, so Albuquerque goes with the first quarterback on the board. And Pittsburgh goes with the second. Goes a corner. I'll be interested where this wide receiver goes. That wide receiver, his bars and everything, like his combine's ridiculous. He's already 24% developed. Wow, Indianapolis reached for the third quarterback. That is an interesting pick. Running back. I can't imagine that Spencer here drops out of the top 10. Ooh, Albuquerque had 2 early picks, and look at that. They dueled up. They went quarterback and then top wide receiver. That is going to be a dangerous combo. Albuquerque is going to be a team to watch in the coming seasons here. All right. Let's go ahead and speed this up. All right, we are up. Top player on the board right now is the tackle. That being said, there are 2 tackles that were rated above him that we did not get a chance to interview. Is that the top fullback? Yeah, the top fullback is still available. One of our wide receivers that we were generally interested in is available. The safety went. Okay. I'm trying to remember, was there any other position that we... Oh, there was that corner. He is off the board. Okay. So realistically, we basically have... Let's just take a quick look at this. I'm actually not a huge fan of that guy's bars. Same with that guy's bars. I actually like our guy's bars the most. He did perform a little bit worse at the combine, but not terribly worse. And he's a little bit less developed than the 2 up here, which could be a thing because, you know, right now we are kind of in a win now mode. So, not sure. The fullback is a very interesting option because right now we don't even have a fullback, I don't think. Not the button I meant to click, this one. Oh, we actually do have a fullback. How good is our current fullback? Oh, he's actually a 60. Okay. Alright, so now I'm not as keen on the fullback idea. Do we go with the best wide receiver remaining? I don't know how much of an upgrade he's going to be compared to what we already have, because we already have 3 wide receivers in that. Well, I guess if you consider this guy, we have 4 wide receivers basically at 50. Ugh. 2 older running backs. Let's look at it this way real quick. Just looking at it this way, that fullback is still the top option here. This center looks great, but we have a young center that I think is pretty good. You have 3 years in the league, 65. Man, this is actually a really hard pick. I think we go with the wide receiver. I think that is the best bet for us right now. I'm not sold that he's going to be the correct option long term, but I think it's a position that if we can get an upgrade, it would definitely be nice. The one tackle is still sitting here available that we liked, as is that fullback. For a win now team, I'm a little bit concerned about this guy just because he's only 27% developed. Do we go with the top tackle that we did not interview? Both of his grades are higher. He's more developed, which is important right now. His combine was better. His bars don't look as good. I think we go for him. Yeah, I'm going with this guy. I don't feel confident in either of those two picks, to be quite honest. But we will see how this pans out. All right, the other wide receiver that we were looking at is gone. Both of those fullbacks are gone. So now it's going to be a little bit of a pecking game here. Let's see. Ooh, the one rookie wide receiver is showing in here looking to be a 62. So that could be an upgrade for us. And that right tackle is looking to be a 50. Not the best, but he's already a 34. So, ugh. I say that, not that I don't like that, but 34 for a rookie is actually decent. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure that was the best pick. All right. I'm just going to go top remaining here because it's a young defensive tackle who identifies as a defensive end. Really good run defense, really good pass rush technique. So, and he's really high on that play diagnosis as well. These are the kind of bars that I like seeing for a defensive front. He doesn't have the pass rush strength. What the heck did I say before? But the technique is so high that he might be fine. So let's go ahead and nab this guy. All right. There are a number of linebackers that we have options for here. We definitely want one or two more offensive linemen. We might want to get those in late free agency, though, so we can get a little bit of age on our offensive line. Actually, our offensive line is now, I'm thinking like, I just drafted those linemen, but they're already like 5 to 3 years in the league. So we might be fine with going some additional young ones. We still need another safety and a tight end. Okay. Let's get some safeties here. None of these are looking too promising. This guy, not great, but probably the best I've seen bars-wise. This guy has really high play diagnosis and decent interceptions. I feel like that could be a good combo. Let's mark him. I'm not thrilled about either of those, to be honest. That is decent. He's super... Those two are basically opposites of one another. Mark both of them. Okay. So a quick look at some tight ends. Really high run blocking ability. That's always important to have because I think right now this guy's really high in that, but he's also a good receiving back. And then our other tight end is kind of meh. So this guy could be just like our full on tight end blocker. Let's go ahead and nab him actually. Right. Safeties are still there. This corner is still here. Look at that guy's bars. I mean, that's nutty. We're going with him. Once again, linebacker is not something that I would say we specifically need, but I just can't say no to those bars. This is the guy with the really high play diagnosis and decent interceptions. Let's give him a shot. And then let's see if we can get like the best remaining either guard or tackle here. Yeah, we're looking at about what you would expect this late in terms of bars for these guys. Those bars are actually decent looking in this 7th round. Alright, we're going this guy. Alright. Real quick. Not sure where we see it. Is it staff? I'm trying to figure out how all of these linebackers are slipping. Because we seem to be getting good linebackers in all of our drafts so far. Don't know, maybe just that there's been a good amount of them in the past couple of drafts. Alright. Let's take a quick look here. Defensive tackle and wide receiver both supposed to be 60s. That middle linebacker is supposed to be up to a 56. The one tackle we got is supposed to be up to a 50. Left guard up to a 43. And the other two are much further down. Alright. In terms of numbers there, I am overall happy. Let's take a quick look and see if our boy Dion Knotts is available or not. EFG, HJK. Did he get picked up or did he retire? Let's take a quick look here. Let's see, that was, I think, 71 where we used him. Yeah. I ended up retiring. Okay. Well, in case you were wondering, this is where Dion Knotts ended up after contemplating what to do with him. So let's say it's a good thing we didn't move forward with him. Stinks that we can't bring him back in as our backup, though. Alright. We basically have no money. We need another, at least, tackle. There's a good looking center that went through the draft. And then we need some kind of tackle, preferably a tackle. Tackle. Here is top tackle available. He's played for Cincinnati his entire career, only started 2 seasons really, and was letting a lot of sacks. I'm not a fan of that. Let's see what else we can find. This guy hasn't really gotten the chance to start in recent years. His 1 year he started as a rookie. He allowed 12 sacks. In 3 starts last year, he didn't allow any and almost got a 40% key block opportunity. So that is promising. Let's go ahead and we will sign him up. It's basically all the money we have. We had very little to work with this season. We signed both of them. We're down to $3 million. That's basically all that we're going to be able to do. Even with this money left, we might run into money problems. So hopefully we don't lose a draft pick next year. But we'll see how it goes. Right, going through exhibition. Before we jump into week 1, let's just see if we had any key injuries in preseason. Our center extended knee, he should be back. Sprained thumb should be back. Extended elbow. Compound leg fracture. Great. Okay. So our offensive line might be a little bit weaker than normal to start the season. Outside of that, though, I think we're going into this in a decent position. So, let's see. We won week 1 against Kansas City. We won week 2 against Chicago. We lost against Miami. We'll sim through week 5 here and then take a look at how things are going. And we beat Albuquerque. All right, so we're sitting at 3-1. Let's take a look here at our team summary. All right, now Bart Hines is not full-time starting, so what's going on? Okay, he hurt something in his foot. So it looks like we're running with a backup quarterback right now, which is never ideal, but it is what it is. Our running game is struggling once again, but as we noted, our offensive line was starting out injured. Is this our rookie? Yeah, this is our rookie. So our rookie has basically tied for yardage so far with our other top wide receiver, but our main tight end here is currently leading the charge. All right. We'll see how this looks in a couple of weeks. Broken tibia. Okay. So that right there is a prime example of what might have happened to our running game. Our right guard, compound leg fracture. So both of our main guards are basically out. Yes, right now we're starting a guy down here who's only a 41. And this guy's starting, but I don't think he's actually starting, if that makes sense. We'll find out. All right. We'll simulate 2 more weeks here. All right, we beat Pittsburgh. Now we're going up against Baltimore. Baltimore creamed us. All right. This is the trade deadline. Yep, this guy's out until basically playoffs. This guy will be out probably the entire season. Okay. But quick, where's our quarterback in here? Okay, so we've been running with the backup the past 2 weeks. Let's see how that's going. This guy hasn't gotten any additional yardage, I don't think. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure right now if our main problem is the quarterback situation. I mean, that's definitely part of it, but I don't know how much our guards both being out is affecting this. My guess is a lot because our rushing stats, while they weren't great last year, I think that we were like 13th in the league. We're now sitting at the bottom in the league again. So that then raises the question, do we try trading right now for a guard? I think I'm going to look into it because I think once we get some of our other guys back, we're going to stand a decent shot this year. Trying to think of the best way to go about doing this. I think what I'm going to do is roster strengths. And then let me look at guards. So Miami and Philly are probably our two best because they have good starters and good reserves. So let's go look at Miami real quick. Miami. They have two incredible starting guards. Look at that front line. That is beautiful. They have this guy who's an older guy. He's getting paid a crap ton, though. We're not going to be able to inherit that. They have this rookie that we might be able to convince them to give us. Casey Foster. All right, let's see what they want for him. Miami. His name was Casey Foster. All right, let me just real quick look at. So he was a 3rd round pick, which means they're probably going to want minimum 3rd round pick for him. Let's just see if they'll do that straight up. So they're very close. We'll also throw in our 7th round pick. I will also give you our 6th round pick. Really? I thought you said we were very close. Okay, well that's not happening. Let's see. I don't like this guy's money situation, but they need basically defense, which we might be able to provide them. Let's take a quick look at our defense. Who's our top defender that we're not starting? Pearson. Basically has never started for us. So this might be a good guy to try to trade here. Pearson. He is our only probably worthwhile backup corner though, which scares me. I'm too scared to trade that. Because then if one of these guys gets injured, our secondary is going to be screwed. What about Sammy DeRoy here? This guy might be worth trading. He's a backup for us. Our inside linebacker situation is not doing that great right now. Alright, let's try it though. Sammy DeRoy. They need a linebacker. Okay. So these two, it's an older guy, costing more. Okay, so I need to expand my... They're going to make me do that before I can even do the trade? This guy's starting for us, doing decently so far. All right, maybe I'll try to see if they want Antonio here. I'll see how I can keep Sammy. That is a 1-for-1. I'm willing to take him. Okay. I don't have anything really that I feel comfortable trading here. This defensive tackle is really nice. And I have this guy. Should be able to slot directly into starting. And this guy is decent. But I want to keep a couple of these for like goal line situations and things like that. I can't think of anything to do here. Because I'm going to need to open up cap space regardless. I don't really have the money to take this guy on. How the hell are they paying these guys where these guys are so cheap? The hell? Alright. What are the ratings on our starters right now? 22 and 25. Yeah. Alright. My only offer that I'm going to give for this guy. It will probably be a late second rounder. I'm scared to make this trade. However, what I will say is that if this guy ends up panning out, he'll help us out this season. And a 52 would slot in to probably start for us, or at least be a very good backup anyway. So let's go for it. You've made a fair offer. We're very close to the deal. A higher draft choice. Alright, fine. I'll throw in my 7th rounder. Gosh dang it. What does this guy want? No, they're asking too much. I'm not risking that. Alright. We're going to do this with our backups. Let's keep this thing rolling. Alright, we beat California. Going up against Cincinnati, another 5-2 team. They beat us. Going up against Kansas City, another 5-3. Alright. Sitting at 5-4. We'll do one more week here. Alright. What the heck? Every single week this time has been like the team with the same record as us. Is our starting quarterback back? Okay, he is. Looks like we might have lost another one of our offensive linemen. What is going on? So both of our guards are out. A dislocated shoulder going for one of them, a broken toe for another. Yeah, our offensive line is just decimated this season. Okay. Outside of our offensive line, our team looks to be pretty well intact. Let's take a look at our team summary. Yep, our rushing game is suffering, and I'm going to point that directly to our offensive line. Bart Hines is back starting, so hopefully our scoring will go up a little bit. Our defense, once again, is stepping up. I mean, If you look even at the points that we've scored, we haven't scored above 20 points now in 6 games, but in those we're 3-3. So our defense is definitely stepping up to the plate. And I think we're going to get at least one of our guards back if we make playoffs. This guy should be back. This guy should actually be back in a few weeks. So let's keep things rolling. Against Green Bay, we beat Green Bay. Going up against Houston, beat Houston. Against Minnesota, a tie game. All right. Have we gone up against a team with a losing record this year? Like when we played them? I don't know if we have. We have a ridiculous schedule. All right. Going up against California again. We beat them. We're at 9-4-1. We're going up against Detroit. And of course they beat us for who knows why reasoning. Let's see here. We're at 9-5. Where does that place us in the playoff rankings going into final week here? Okay, we're a lock into playoffs. Question is, will we get a bye or not? Okay. And number of injuries again. Our young wide receiver has a sprained thumb, so that's not the end of the world. We got back one of our guards. Actually, did we get back both of our guards? Where's our other guard at? Oh, he's not full starting yet. Oh, I don't think he's gonna play. Alright, but that gives us back our left side of our offensive line, which is going to be key as we go into playoffs. And it looks like our team did go over our salary cap, which means we've probably lost our 3rd round pick next year. But we'll see how this pans out. Alright, up against Las Vegas. We did lose, which means that we probably did not get a bye. A bye would have been nice to let our team get a little bit of additional time to rest, get those injuries back to healthy. But it is what it is. All right. Before we run these, we finished as basically the worst rushing team in the league. Our receiving core is pretty all over the place. Our top wide receiver ended up being Everett Rides, who, I'm trying to remember this guy's situation. This guy was a guy who got in late free agency, I think, right? Yeah, late free agency. We got him last year. Okay, our rookie wide receiver is back healthy for playoffs. All right, so we have our 3 main targets back in time for playoffs, all healthy. Our left side of our line is up and healthy. Our running game is trash, but that might be blamable on our offensive line situation this year. Some very nice numbers in here. We had a number of players with like 6+ sacks, a lot of players high on hurries. Defended passes were pretty good. Defended pass rate, a number of players are sitting here at over 80, which is great. We weren't like a top defense if we look here, but we were 4th in turnovers, 4th in points per game, 4th in completion percentage. So I would say we were definitely a top 10 defense overall. So let's see how this goes. We are up against Tennessee. All right, it looked like that was an offensive touchdown followed by a defensive touchdown. We definitely have a nice lead going into halftime. It's looking good for us, but let's not give them a chance to make a run. Beautiful. All right, I didn't even slow that one down. It looks like our rushing game finally picked up here. You can see we got 134 rushing yards. Poon, who was our basically backup running back, ended up taking the majority of our touches in the game here. Cool. As a reminder, Lee, our safety, is killer, and he got injured in playoffs last year, so hopefully he stays up and healthy. We're up against Kansas City, who I think we played twice in the regular season. Kansas City takes a touchdown lead to start things off. They're up 10-0. So we missed an extra point there, but 13-13 going into second half. They're up a touchdown on us. It's a tie game, 7 minutes left. We'll let it go a little bit longer here. All right, we're about 3 minutes tied game. Let's slow it down. We have the ball. Ooh, nice pass to tight end. Goes for 34 yards. Okay. Nice, an 18-yard pass. Uh-oh, there's a flag. Offensive holding. Great. Also, you'll notice Mike Knight is starting for us. So, Hines must have gotten injured. And you can see here, he actually started most of the game for us. So, all right. Defense needs to come up key here. Incomplete pass. Good for 6 yards. 3rd and 4. All right, you got a first, but he ran it, so we'll see what ends up happening here. This should end up going into overtime based on where they're at. 6 seconds left. Okay. That's going to be the end of the fourth, though. All right. We're going into overtime. We're going to need Knight to step up big for us as our backup quarterback. If we end up winning here, we definitely need to see what's going on with our main guy. I'm not sure in this game how the overtime is actually set up to work. They got a false start. I have a feeling that it works as we've seen in recent years with the NFL, where it's first team if they score a touchdown, things like that. Ooh, we have to go like the entire length of the field here. We did 2 running plays, totaling 7 yards. All right, we're gonna need. This is not a good position to punt from. Hopefully, that punter that we're paying good money. Ooh, okay. Defense got to step it up right here, right now. Breaks a pair of tackles. Oh, man. That right there is probably game, but let's see how this pans out. They lost 2 yards. That's good for us. Medium length pass. They got a first down. That is probably it. Yep, here's the field goal. It is good. That's the end. All right. So, once again, we made a playoff run, but did not pan out for us. Well, actually, let's take a quick look at this. What happened to Bart Hines? Hyperextended knee. Gosh dang it. All right. That is a prime example of why your backup quarterback matters. But I gotta say, for a backup quarterback, he really didn't do poorly. I mean, he went 19 for 29, 243 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, that is a pretty damn good game if we're just being straight up here. So you can't really blame it on that guy. Man. Well, let's see who ends up taking it this year. It's Kansas City and Chicago. Chicago takes the W. All right. Let's go ahead and save here. Before we wrap up this episode, just take a quick look here. That wide receiver is looking like he's going to end up working out for us. So that's awesome. We have a very decent offensive line, but it's not a deep offensive line, which is something we might need to work on. These 2 defensive linemen may retire, so another thing that we need to keep an eye on. But you know what? Overall, we have a number of seasons here where we've made a good stretch, so we'll see if we can continue. If we look real quick at the team summary, just from once over in this, I don't see anyone obvious as a standout for making the Pro Bowl team. If somebody does, I have a feeling it's going to be Lee, our safety, or Bite, our tight end. Those are very good tight end receiving numbers. I don't know if this would be good enough, but let's take a quick look. All right. Okay, neither of the 2 that I mentioned, but we had 2 players make it onto the second team. Our punter, so it's good to know that our punter was worth the money. And then our defensive tackle here, who went for 51 tackles, 21 assists, 7.5 sacks, 14 hurries. This guy's 33. He might retire after this season. We'll see, though. I think that we still have a good overall team. We have a number of young assets that hopefully will be able to pull us into playoff contention here for a couple of seasons. There are definitely a couple of holes that we're going to need to work on here, but we made playoffs again. So let's try to get that bowl win before we lose too many of these guys. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around with me through another episode. Hopefully I'll see you guys at the next one. Until then, AyyScare out.